Hello, everyone. Before we begin, I want to let you know, as always, that my book of short horror stories called The Things That Happen at Night is available at the link in the description for only $3. Also in the description, you can sign up for my free newsletter. You can join me on all my social media. And you can read some free short horror stories over on Wattpad. All those links are down there. Be sure to check them all out. Now let's get on with the video. All right. So the book we're going to be talking about today, it's an epic one. It's called A Child Alone with Strangers by Philip Fracassi. This book is, like I said, it's pretty epic. And it starts out grim. It starts out pretty grim as we have a father who is walking along with his son, picks his son up in his arms, and then walks right into the path of a speeding bus. Yeah, that's a good way to start a horror book there. The father gets killed instantly. The boy is thrown, crashes into the back of a BMW, right through the back windshield, and he's in pretty bad condition. When he regains consciousness, all of a sudden he's aware that he has an ability. This ability allows him, it's not really a psychic ability, but it does allow him to see people's emotions and basically what people are thinking based on their emotions. He sees these kind of auras, and these auras kind of speak to him, like he puts the colors of these auras, and in his mind is translated to words and sentences on what they're thinking, how they're feeling, and things of that nature. At first, it's kind of overwhelming for him because he doesn't know how to control it or stop it, and he's getting all these images and all these things going through his mind, driving him crazy, on top of the intense physical pain he's still in from his accident. But pretty soon he learns how to control it. He goes to live with his aunt and uncle, who love him just as much as his parents did. I mean, they really love him. They really have an affection toward the boy. His uncle is a lawyer and decides to sue the bus company for what happened because, as it turns out, even though it was a suicide and an attempted murder at the same time, the bus driver was found to be above the legal limits alcohol-wise. He'd been drinking. And the bus company, not wanting to have any bad publicity, decided to settle out of court for $2 million, which his uncle and his aunt then put away for him in a trust so that he could have a good life when he grows up. But they're still very, the whole family is heartbroken and devastated. They don't know why this happened, what the man was thinking, or anything like that. However, there's a group of people led by a very bad man named Jim Cady, who, due to this incident being in the papers, they know that this man now has $2 million. And so they decide to kidnap this young boy. And what they want in ransom is that $2 million. Then they're going to head down to Mexico, get away from the authorities, and never be caught. That is their plan. And Jim Cady is a bad man, and the rest of his crew isn't really any better, as you'll find out when you read it. They're just a bunch of bad people, psychopaths, sociopaths, trying to make this score. But Jim Cady has a plan. He always has a plan. He's probably one of my favorite bad guys, one of my favorite antagonists in a horror book, because he just plans it. He's planned this kidnapping through every possible angle for 6 months until the plan finally goes through and they can kidnap this boy. They take him out in the middle of the woods into this dilapidated, almost completely destroyed wooden home where nobody can find them. and they lock him in a room upstairs while they execute the plan to get this $2 million and abscond down to Mexico with it. Now, that would be interesting enough as it is. However, because of this boy's abilities, he soon learns that there is something there with them in this house. Creatures that come deep from the earth that have been there thousands and thousands of years. Horrible, terrifying creatures. And they are not happy that these people are in the woods in that house. There's two creatures in particular, one he calls baby and one he calls mother, because the mother is the adult creature, I guess. The other one is in a cocoon when we first hear about it and see it on the property where they're at. And he kind of feels like, this boy feels like he has a bond with these creatures because of his almost psychic abilities. He can tap into their feelings, and come to find out they can recognize him as well. It's like they can communicate sort of with each other. And these creatures, especially the mother who's trying to protect her baby, is telling him one thing: tell these people to get out. Get out now and just leave. Of course, they don't believe him. They think he's, obviously he's just trying to escape the situation. He's just trying to run away. He's trying to scare them. They get a little abusive toward him because it's obvious that they don't really care if this boy lives or dies. They just need him alive long enough to get that ransom money. But the mother, this creature, this horrifying creature, since they're not going to leave by themselves, she decides to start sending them little messages, trying to scare them enough to leave. And at first it starts out innocently, but pretty soon it escalates. It ramps up, and her attacks are brutal. They are disgusting. If right now, if you do not like creepy crawlies, if you don't like insects and bugs, I personally do. I find them fascinating. But if you don't, reading this book is not going to help your fears, my friend, because she can command animals and insects and bugs and other things to do her bidding, and she sends them in to when these people are sleeping in one particular scene, and it's pretty disgusting and gross what these bugs can do. So in the meantime, we also have an FBI agent who is working closely with the parents, coming up with a plan to get this boy back safely. And so as these events start unfolding at this cabin where the boy is held, this group of people, this group of kidnappers start unraveling. They start turning on each other. They start not trusting one another. They start bickering and fighting and, like I said, just not putting their full trust in the crew, which was their original plan. And as their plans start unraveling, so do their minds, especially Jim Cady, who is used to having his plans executed exactly because everybody fears him. He has left a trail of bodies in his wake, and they know that just being late for a meeting could mean that he would kill them. It could mean their death. That's how this man thinks. And so not only do we have fighting from the inside, not only do we have this creature doing things to them to frighten them and get them to leave, and especially leave her baby alone. But then the FBI starts closing in, and we start finding out how that operation is going and how close they are to actually finding where this boy is. And as things escalate, there's just this growing sense of tension all throughout the book, and you can almost sense that that something is going to happen. Whether this mother creature is going to get them, is the boy going to live or die? And that's one thing I was never sure of, because there were just some scenes where you're like, oh man, this is it. They are going to kill him, because these people just do not care. They just do not care about his life or the life of anybody else. And but they are determined that they're going to stay there no matter what happens, get their money, as was the plan, because Jim Cady will have his plan executed one way or the other. This is just an epic, huge book, and I absolutely loved it. It's thrilling. It's kind of a police procedural, I guess you can say, in a way, on one end, but it's also this terrifying supernatural story on the other end that just creates this perfect storm, because, of course, you'll read about the ending. I won't give anything away, but it is epic. It is action-packed. It is bloody. It is gory. And, not everybody is going to make it out of there alive. I won't give away who or anything. You'll have to read that for yourself. But, there are some sections in this book where you'll just find yourself holding your breath. That's how that's how exciting it is. That's how much you just have to know what's going to happen next year, because things do not go as planned, and it's bad news when that happens. Yeah, A Child Alone with Strangers. I definitely recommend this one. It's fantastic, and I loved it. And I will leave a link down below to Amazon if you want to purchase it from there, and I recommend that you do. And also down below, check out all my links, as I said before. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time, spending it here with me. I really appreciate you guys watching. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.